Curt Cignetti, Coach of the Year. Obviously, there's several candidates for this award, but Indiana is balling right now. He's Cignetti's won at every single place he's gone, and now has transformed this Indiana program. What are your thoughts on him? Do you think he's Coach of the Year, and why would you think he's qualifier for the Coach of the Year?
Right now, he's got to be the leader, I would say, going into the clubhouse. James Franklin could be in the mix as well. I don't know if they'll give Lanning a shot or not because it's Oregon. DeBoer probably not because it's Alabama, but there's a couple guys. Kalani Sitake at BYU has got to be in the conversation. Kenny Dillingham at Arizona State has to be in the conversation, and Narduzzi at Pitt has got to get some notoriety there. And then how far does Miami go? Does Mario get a shot? Cristobal at getting in that conversation, but Cignetti on what he's doing seems like one of those type of Coach of the Year candidates for a rebuild. Usually rebuild coaches get that nod. Kalani's going on year 9 or whatever at BYU, so Cignetti would probably be the favorite, odds-on favorite right now. I don't know if that's a bet or not. I don't know what the number is, but I would say Cignetti's got to be the clubhouse leader as they basically go in second half of this thing. So I don't know. I think what he's done in Indiana is it's a hard sell there as far as what they have to battle these other teams. If you see Nebraska's facilities in Indiana, you'll see why Cignetti's Coach of the Year.
Yeah, that's a good point. And you mentioned that, and that's a hell of a point with the facilities. You mentioned that Cignetti wins this game. Cignetti and Indiana win this game. That he should be Coach of the Year. Let me ask you, how do you feel about Matt Rule in that conversation? If Nebraska were to win this game and they, let's say, probably maybe lose another game or two. I mean, I think they take on Ohio State here soon. But do you think Matt Rule's in that conversation? Maybe, let's start there.
Could be. It depends on the run. He's got to win tonight and beat Ohio State, I would think, to get into that conversation. Probably that would put them in the driver's seat and to get into a bowl game or into a playoff possibly too. So
yeah,
could be. It could be, but he's got a long way to go in my opinion. I think Cignetti has a driver's seat lead right now. I think he's the guy that's got to be knocked off to get put out of this thing. But James Franklin has something to say as well if he can finally get over the hump and beat one of the big dogs.
Yeah, that's true.
So we'll see. If he stays unscathed, got away from SC shouldn't have lost that one. But James Franklin's finally, every year he's winning 9-10 games, but can't get over the hump. Their offense seems to not show up in big games. Now let's see if Franklin's off new OC, which matters. If you look, he left Kansas, and look at Kansas now, and look at Penn State now. So
yeah, that's true.
It's a lot to be said still, and it's still early. But if I was a bettor, you got to wait and see at least another 4 games, I would say, by everybody before we could say, all right, I'm going to bet on this guy or that guy.
Yeah, no doubt. 2 more names in this Coach of the Year conversation. I know we're mid-season, but this is a conversation to be had as we go on. First one I'll say is Deion Sanders. Any possibility if Colorado wins out, which I think, if you look at their schedules, a possibility. Any shot that he's Coach of the Year if Colorado wins out, plays for that Big 12 championship?
Because of the hype and who he is, yeah. As far as just coaching, no, he's not. He's not even on Cignetti's same level. But the bottom line is his name and his who he is. It'll carry so much weight. His marketing, the way he's on every commercial, you see him every day when you wake up. You see him every day when you go to sleep. So that's going to carry weight. It's propaganda, man. That's what it is, and he's done a better job than anyone else. So you're going to remember him when you see him on a commercial with Nick Saban or a commercial with fucking KFC or whatever else he's on. You're going to remember him, and that's going to carry some weight if they continue to win. But if they go and lose a couple of these games here, he'll be out of the conversation because there'll be too many coaches with no or one loss.
Yeah. Last name I'll throw, Narduzzi and Pitt. Any possibility there? They keep winning.
Yeah, there is. He's got to play a few other guys, though, that I think the dark horse of this whole thing, and who I think is my coach of the year, I'm going to be honest, is Dabo Swinney. Dabo's the coach of the year, I think, once it's all said and done. I think they're going undefeated. I think they got a shot, and I would actually bet that they possibly could win the Natty.
Yeah,
I think Clemson, the way they're playing, and I said it after the Georgia game, I said, nah, I'm not writing these guys off right now. Their D-line's as good as – they're better than anybody in football, in my opinion. They got similar NFL D-line. They got probably 3, if not 4, draftable guys on that front set in the front 4, front 7. And then the quarterback now is playing like the guy we thought he was coming out of high school in Texas, being one of the top recruited guys. Finally, Riley's figuring it out on offense and letting him be him and not handcuffing him. And I think you're seeing it now. And I think that team has proven that you can win with a culture and a in-house philosophy and not have to hit the portal, not have to use the band of mercenaries. I think Dabo's has something to say about this at the end of the day. So that's my coach of the year right now, especially if they run the table, beat Miami, and are in the playoff. That would be my guy, only because I'm old school and I like that he's sticking to his guns and he's saying, fuck the portal. I'm going to do it my way. I love it. Now, can he do it? We'll see. Because if he doesn't, everyone's going to say, oh, he's got to keep up with the Joneses. You don't get in the portal. And I don't know, do they play Pitt?
Does Clemson play Pitt? I'm not, off the top of my head, I'm not sure.
Yeah, so, it's going to be interesting. Narduzzi, though, I mean, he's doing it his way.
They do play November 16th.
Yeah, so, it's all going to – Mario, they're all going to play – this whole thing's going to play each other out. And we'll see. In Syracuse, Coach Brown there.
That's another one now.
We'll see how they do. But, it's going to come down to probably one of the more popular guys that have turned the program around. Unless Dabo runs the table, I would think Dabo would be odds-on favorite at the end of the day. But if not, then if Cignetti runs it, I think they'll give it to Cignetti in Indiana or someone like that. I don't see coming out of the ACC because they got to play each other.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a hell of a point. And we'll continue talking about this as we go on. I mean, you mentioned that. I mean, Clemson looks really damn good right now. I mean, you mentioned that this Clemson team would probably beat Georgia now if they played versus the Week 1 matchup that happened. I mean, Clemson's rolling right now. So Dabo's certainly in that conversation for Coach of the Year.